Thank you. Thank you, Karen, for your kind introduction and for your friendship and the great work you still do. It's a great honor to be presented with this award and to be in the company of people who have done so much. I'd like to take a moment to recognize somebody who took that award before me, the gifted Anthony Steed, for his extraordinary life that ended unexpectedly, but whose ideal for searching for the truth will forever live. It will ever live among those who he inspired. And please allow me to thank the Nation Institute, Randy Fertel, and the Fertel Foundation for this great honor. And thank you, Andy and Ruth, and everyone else who helped putting this event together. Also, I would like to thank my agent, Andrew Wiley, and Star Lawrence from Norton, who believed in this project, regardless to all the headaches it brought to the folks at Norton. Janet Bryan for her amazing editorial skills. Also, I would like to thank my co-author, Dan Friedman, who I share this honor with. His dedication and commitment to the truth exemplified the highest of ideals. So thank you, Dan. But above all, I have to thank my wife, Heather, for everything that she went through with me when I was in the government and after I left the government, and for allowing me to go on all these long missions and spend so many times, so many hours in the office, and then still letting me back into the house afterwards. So thank you, honey. I am honored and humbled. I feel that an award named after Ron Ridenhour was not made just to recognize a book, to recognize an author, or to recognize a person. It is made to acknowledge all those who refuse to shrink from a challenge, all those who dare to say no to the powerful, all those who sacrificed their own comfort and well-being for the greater good, and all those who continue to risk their lives to defend our values while protecting our freedom. So I accept this award only in trust. When James Conant was president of Harvard, he kept on his desk a little model of a turtle, under which was inscribed, "Behold the turtle. It makes progress when its neck is out." We are fortunate. We are fortunate in America to have so many people who are willing to stick their neck out for our great nation. Not only those who fight on the front lines, but also those who stick their neck out at home. Activists, journalists, public servants, ordinary people, and yes, every now and then, politicians. It's often not easy to speak up. It's easier to be silent. It's easier to obey. It's easier to follow the crowd. Standing up comes with consequences. Whisper campaigns, false charges, harassments, and even threats are sometimes made. The prospect of those alone silences many. But despite this, our great nation has a strong and noble history of people sticking their neck out. I believe it's part of our national spirit. Our country's founding fathers were the first to stick their neck out. And since then, our country has always strived to be a shining city on a hill. And if some in Washington forget that, there are those who stick their neck out and remind them. In our great country, no one is supposed to be above the laws, not even presidents and vice presidents. When I witnessed the beginning of the introduction of the so-called enhanced interrogation techniques, which are not only un-American and unethical, but they are ineffective and so damaging both to our national security and our moral fiber as a nation, I was fortunate that my superiors in the FBI, right through to the director's office, agreed that we don't do that. EITs were designed by bureaucrats with no experience with Al-Qaeda, by people who had never met a terrorist, let alone interrogate one. Unsurprisingly, it ended with disaster. False leads were chased, and real opportunities were missed, and justice was never served. And to top it off, those behind this calamity destroyed the interrogation tapes, the evidence of their failure, the evidence of their unprofessionalism, the evidence of their incompetence. But while those people may have escaped official censures, history has damned them. And it is the professionals inside our security agencies who stuck their neck out, who objected, and took their complaints to their inspector generals and fought through other channels. It is them who won at the end, and history will applaud them. It is a testimony for them and really to our country that in 2005, only 3 years after the mistake of beginning the EITs was made, still under the same administration, it was shelved. Unfortunately, there are still those who continue to repeat the tales of their own fantasies and make false claims, even ridiculously trying to steal the credit of the death of Osama bin Laden, putting it down on EITs. It's almost comical how they try to claim every single piece of intelligence we got came from torture. Even the fact the record shows otherwise. In the case of bin Laden, those subjected to the EITs denied knowledge of what we later, years later, knew that they actually know. That's success? Jose Padilla, who they claim was arrested because of waterboarding, was already in custody months before waterboarding was even authorized or administered. They need a time machine for that. Next, they will claim that we defeated Nazi Germany, we won the Cold War, we put a man on the moon because of waterboarding. You know, it would be comical if it's not our national security here at stake. The public battle over EITs remind me of Winston Churchill, something he said a long time ago. He said, a lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on. My book, as you heard from Karen, is full of redactions, unjustifiable ones, designed to prevent lies from being corrected. But while they may think they scored a success by redacting, they've ironically done a great service to the truth in the long run. Because you can only redact what is true. When people eventually get to read it unredacted, they know it contains the truth. This, incidentally, is why the books defending EITs have no redactions. Because after all, you cannot redact fiction. Time and history is on our side. And never forget that while the turtle moves when it sticks its neck out, and it only moves slowly, in the end, it beats the rabbit in the race. Thank you, and the truth will never be negotiable.